guys, how's it going? This is Enzyme Art, and I'm Enrique. Today we're going to go over how to draw the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World. Now, what I'm doing right here now is I'm starting with the very basics. I'm thinking of the Indominus Rex as a complete, shape, you know what I mean? And it's broken down into smaller shapes. So I'm thinking about the gesture first, then the shapes. It's got kind of this Pac-Man head. And if you think of anything in simple shapes first, it's going to be 10 times easier to draw it. You just start breaking whatever it is down into simple shapes, anything. After that, I put a piece of paper over it. I have another layer, and that's when I already have my framework underneath. I don't have to think about that. I start thinking about smaller details. The first thing I think of would be the kind of mouth, the kind of T-Rex style raptor mouth of the Indominus Rex. Because the Indominus Rex was a combination of a bunch of different dinosaurs. So, but I mean, at its core, it looks kind of like a giant raptor and a T-Rex mixed together. I mean, at least to me. As I'm going in here, this is where I start dividing the fingers up. I start to think of like protrusions in the skin and the little landmarks. I went over all this stuff in the How to Draw Dinosaur video, so if you need a refresher course on that, please go check that video out. I'm going to put it up here. I go into the body and torso. The thing is with with dinosaurs that stand up on their hind legs like that, their torso and rib cage, their rib cage and pelvis are really close together. I noticed. So I go into another layer as well. Now that I've gotten the smaller details, that was just within the pencil, stage. In this stage, I go over it and I start to actually throw ink down. This is like going to be my final product. So I go down with ink, and I'm using a Pigma graphite. A Pigma Micron. And I start putting things down, and I start kind of slowly. I'm starting with a small one. I do that to kind of be wispy and around, and I like nailing down those details first at this stage. At this stage, that's when I go details first, because with everything else, it is anything but that. With everything else, it is you go from the least detailed thing to the most. But this is the reverse. I go right into the detail firsthand. Starting putting in the mouth and the teeth, and I'm thinking about the shape of the mouth overall. It extends forward like that snout, but there's also an opening, so you're gonna have to really picture that in your mind's eye. You have to picture that leaning forward. That pulling forward shape, opening up. So that'll help you get the back side of the jaw over there. Because you can see the front side, the back side's still hidden, but you have to know where to throw those lines too. You have to picture that other side in your mind. I'm going down to his arm. His arm is very close to a human arm. I mean, I just kind of turned a little bit. Going down to his nails. His nails there's nothing too crazy about them, to be honest. Everything is very, like I said, very dinosaur-y. While I'm doing this too, I am trying hard not to make his torso entirely like a human, because I have a habit of drawing things very similar to humans. Because humans is pretty much what I draw out of my head all the time. But you're thinking of this more as an animal, really. Obviously, they were animals. I'm going down to the feet, and I'm making sure those feet it's planted, because where everything stands, that really shows, that grounds the entire character that you're drawing. You have to make sure it's level to the ground and it makes sense. If it doesn't, it might throw off the whole drawing. It'll be like, that thing would be falling over or something. There's a little bit of perspective going on, because you have the Indominus Rex's head closer to us, than the tail. So the tail kind of goes back, and you have this like minor overlapping with the pelvis there. The pelvis overlaps the tail, as you can see. And then I also talk about that in the dinosaur video. Going through, I'm throwing on these little spines because the Indominus Rex has a ton of little tiny spines in the back. That's why I left them toward the end, because I felt those were a little bit intimidating for me to handle right off the bat. So I kind of left those toward the end, even though I did go details first. I went other details, but and those little spines, there's so many that those it's almost like I had to draw them individually, and eventually they would create one shape. You know, there's so many little lines that would create a shape. And I'm taking another micron, and I'm gonna put in more shadow, and I'm gonna block in shadows. And the blocking in shadows, this is more of a comic book technique. You know, you're inking the darks. Anything within shadow is going to be pretty much pitch black, and that's a very comic book thing to do, and it's a very attractive look. You know, it's just a different drawing style. Continuing to go in, I'm trying to sort out some lines here because I do want a sliver of a line to show that his torso is in front of his leg, and it doesn't look like one mass. It doesn't look like something's coming out of his chest, you know. So I have to throw that sliver of a white line. I have to leave it there. And when you're in this phase, it's really tempting to kind of shade everything in, you know, black. But it's really, you know, I just have to control myself and, you know, step back for a moment. There's a lot of stepping back in this, because once you fill it in black, it's there, you know, will not go away. I know you can use whiteout, but you can kind of tell, you know. I'm going down to the knee, and I want the knee to be really constructed out a little bit more. Throw some shadow down there as well, because these shadow patterns, right, these black spaces, they have weight to them, and when they have weight, it can kind of throw things off balance if you don't try to balance it out. So I have to throw some dark at that foot there, a little bit at the bottom. Going into the nose, has his giant nostrils. I think, like I said, the most distinguishing thing about the Indominus Rex is really the spines in the back. You know, it's so distinguishable. I mean, in the movie, there's obviously features. You know, there's changing colors and stuff like that, because, you know. I'm going in a little bit more smaller details. I'm pulling out some of these spines, because some of the spines in the back, some are their own shape, and then some seem to fall in with a mass of, you know, the entire contour of the head. And you're also thinking about that. I'm also thinking about that as well. I'm thinking about really trying to think in 3D. You know, this guy is thick, so where are those spikes going to be? You know, they have to kind of make sense. They look like they're on the skin. I mean, they should look like they're on the skin. He's also going to look mean, so I give him that angry kind of face there. I'm pushing further, and I'm kind of just slowly building up this back of the spine, you know, because I'm trying to be like, I don't want it to look too thick. It's going to look like fur, you know. So I'm trying to slowly bring it out, you know. It's got those devil horns up there. Just trying to slowly bring it out. I'm throwing a contour over the whole thing, which is a thing I do in almost every medium. I like to throw an entire contour. For whatever reason, it just makes things look better to me, more attractive. It contains the complexity. Anyways, this is it. This is the inking for the most part. I appreciate you guys watching. And this has been one of those speed drawings. Sorry I don't upload as much and having technical difficulties lately, but there's going to be the next season coming out soon. And please subscribe if you already haven't. I'm going to appreciate it. And I'm actually going to need a lot of feedback in the future soon, because we're have a lot of things planned. So thanks a lot, guys. Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like that video, check out our How to Draw Dinosaurs video. In that one, I go over 4 different dinosaurs and a little bit more detail on each one. Also, if you think these videos are worth at least $1 a month, check out our Patreon and donate if you can. Just anything extra. If you can't, I completely understand. It's cool. I don't have any money either. Every cent from that goes into these videos again. So, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you next time.